Sunday school teacher, and today we're going to continue a little bit with our lessons about a baby boy named Moses. Last time we heard how God saved his life and caused him to be raised by his very own mom, and also when he got older, he went to Pharaoh's house and learned about being a leader. Today we're going to hear about how God called Moses as a grown man to be the leader of his people Israel, the Israelites. Our memory treasure today says, "In your presence there is fullness of joy," and that means in God's presence. When he's with us, then we're full of joy. Today we're going to hear about how Moses was in God's presence in a special way. God called Moses to be a leader, and we'll hear how he did that with a miracle. And that's something only God can do. First, I need to tell you that many years had gone by. So Moses was now a grown man, quite a bit older. And something happened in Egypt. The Israelites were being mistreated by the Egyptians. Moses saw one of the Israelites being mistreated, and he did something that is not right. He killed the Egyptian. Because this happened, he was afraid. He was afraid of Pharaoh. So he ran away and he went to live in a land called Midian, and he lived there for many years. And during that time, he had the job of a shepherd. So Moses was much older now, and he looked after sheep. That's called being a shepherd in the land of Midian. And one day, Moses saw something strange. He saw a bush that was burning, so it was on fire, but the bush didn't get burned up. Moses couldn't figure out why was the bush not being burned up by the fire. As he got closer, God himself spoke to Moses from that burning bush, so this means God is talking, and God said to Moses, "Take off your shoes because the place where you are standing is holy ground." It was holy because God was there. And taking off one's shoes was a sign of respect for being in a special place. Then God told Moses, "I am the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, all of your ancestors. I have seen how the Egyptians are mistreating my people. I know that Pharaoh is a wicked man and does not believe in me. So I want you, Moses, to be the leader of the Israelites, to lead them out of the land of Egypt." Now, when Moses heard this, he was very afraid. He said, "Oh, I don't think so. I don't think I'm the one to do that. First of all, if I tell the Israelites that you have talked to me, they won't believe me." So God said to Moses, "Well, I'm going to give you some signs that you can do to show that my power is with you." First of all, God told Moses to take his staff. Now a staff would be a stick, kind of like a walking stick. And God said, "Throw it on the ground." And when Moses did that, the staff became a snake, a wiggly snake. Then God told Moses to pick up the snake by the tail, and it turned back to his walking stick. God gave Moses some other signs too. He told Moses to put his hand inside his clothing, inside his robe, and when Moses pulled his hand out, it was white with leprosy. Now leprosy is a terrible skin disease. Then God said to put his hand back, and when he took out his hand the next time, it was perfectly fine. God gave Moses one more sign. He said, "Take some of the water from the Nile River and pour it on the ground, and when you do, the water will become blood." Now this would be an especially powerful sign to the Egyptians because the Nile River gave them life. Egypt is a desert country, and that river was very, very important to them. To see the water turn to blood, that would be very shocking. Now, even though Moses had all of these signs to show the people, the Israelites and later the Egyptians, he said to God, "Well, I don't know. I'm not very good at talking in front of people. I still don't think I'm the right one." So God said, well then, your brother Aaron can do the talking. You will be the leader, but Aaron is the one who will do the speaking. I will tell Aaron what to say, and I will be with both of you. When Moses heard all of these things, he saw the signs and he heard what God had to say. He saw the miracle of the burning bush. Finally, Moses obeyed the Lord. So Moses went to find his brother Aaron. And Moses told Aaron everything that God had said. He told Aaron that God wanted them to lead his people out of Egypt. He showed Aaron the signs, the one about throwing his staff on the ground and his staff became a snake. And when he picked up the snake by the tail, it turned back to his staff again. He also showed Aaron the sign of putting his hand in his clothing and it turned white with leprosy. But then he put his hand back, the leprosy was gone. He told Aaron how they would be able to pour out water from the Nile River and it would turn to blood. And then he said to Aaron, now I'm not very good at speaking. So God said that you would be the one to do the talking, and both of us would lead his people. When Aaron heard all of this, he agreed. He said, what God has told you is good. So the two of them together went to see the Israelites, and they told them everything God had said. When the Israelites saw the signs, the miracles that Moses showed them from God, and when they heard that Aaron was to be the one to speak God's words to them, they agreed. They gave thanks that finally they would leave Egypt. And they agreed that both Moses and Aaron would be their leaders, and of course, God in heaven would be their leader, the most powerful of all. So when we think about our memory treasure, it says, in your presence, in God's presence, there is fullness of joy. We have great happiness whenever we're in God's presence. And how does that happen? Maybe just listening to a Bible lesson like the one we just heard. Maybe reading in our Bible. Maybe being in school or Sunday school where our teachers tell us about God. And especially being in church to hear God's word. Or if you're not able to come right now, listening to it, and maybe you watch the live stream, but you have a chance to hear God himself speaking to you. And that's a wonderful blessing.